Hello siblings, welcome to Scout the Pages. Today we're going to be talking my TBR and my plans for the Orilium Magical Readathon 2024 Spring Equinox.
One day I feel alright, the next I'm looking for the light, for the light, for the light.
I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently than previous years. I will link my readathons playlist down below. The only readathon I participate in is the Orilium one, but that will give you some context about previous years and the character that I designed. I also have a video linked down below where I set up my reading bullet journal for the Orilium Magical Readathons, where I go over my character and the world and all of the choices that I made. So you should check that out if you want a little bit more of the nerdy stuff, the D&D side. But today we're going to be talking about the changes that I've made and the classes that I will need to take, aka my TBR, for what I need to read to pass this semester. So in previous years, I was a story weaver and I actually maxed that out. I feel like Soul has accomplished her mission of becoming a story weaver, but I also feel like they are someone who would adventure out, branch out, try new things, and never stop growing. So I'm going to have Soul, not a new character, go back to Orilium in the same guild and do a guild-specific calling this year. We are officially a story weaver, but I would like to add to Soul's repertoire, and they will now also be achieving the God Seer calling. I'm doing this, one, because I feel like I've already maxed out the story weaver. I've already done something challenging and now it's kind of just repetitive year to year. But also, I want to make 2024, which is my first year of freelance working at home with my child, a little more special and exciting by starting something new. I don't want to start completely over. I'm not choosing a new guild, I'm not making a new character, and right now I am at the guild level Paragon, which means that I can count one book for multiple prompt, which it specifically says multiple, so I'm going to assume that's more than just two. It's just as many as you can get the book to apply to. I know you're supposed to start over if you make a new character specifically, or you are starting over in a new guild, but it is a guild level and I'm not changing guilds. I'm staying in the same guild. I've done the same amount of time, of years, of readathons in this specific guild. I'm not creating a new character. So I'm going to keep my status as Paragon. It's a readathon, it's for fun. It's not that deep, it's not that serious. I'm just gonna do that to take the stress away and make it more fun for me personally. You approach Orilium however you feel like. The readathon is up to interpretation. There's no hard rules, as G always says. I don't want to have to remake the spreads in my journal. That just doesn't sound fun to me, and it honestly kind of stresses me out to think that I couldn't count a DNF or that I couldn't apply one book to multiple prompts. And God Seer as a calling is much more difficult than Story Weaver. I will still be challenging myself, don't you worry. Usually there's a few options on how you can approach the readathon according to G herself, and that is you can either participate in the readathon in only April and only August. Those are the months you have to read all of your books in 1 month. That makes sense because that's when the statistics are taken for the readathon, and that's kind of when it counts in the overall community. But G has mentioned many times that it still counts, according to G, if you take until the next semester begins to complete it, which means that the spring equinox would take place from the 1st of April all the way until the 1st of August, when the autumn equinox would begin. So as long as you complete your books over that summer, spring and summer, I guess, you have passed. And that's what I'm going to be doing this year. I usually try to force myself to finish all of the books in that month so I can record them in the G drive and in the spreadsheets so that everyone can get points and I can represent my archivist's guild. But honestly, I usually end up just reading graphic novels when that happens because I'm rushing and I feel pressed. April is the busiest month of the year for me. That's when my husband travels for at least a week during that month. He's away, so I am solo parenting, in addition to preparing for my daughter's birthday parties. She was born in April, and that's just how that is. August is when I was born, which is really fun. So I feel a little more chill about August, so I usually finish mine between August and October in autumn because it is more books. This April, I am planning to not force myself to read short books and limit myself because I'm stuck in just 1 month trying to work, plan a party, and parent in addition to prioritizing reading. It just doesn't work out for me. So this year, I will be going until August 1st. You will get videos once a month of Orilium. I do have more videos planned leading up to Orilium and about Orilium, but as far as vlogging goes, it will be month by month instead of every single week. I may still do every single week for April because I tend to have a lot going on and my life is just a little more fun and glamorous in April. So I will probably take you along for that. Let's go over my TBR and my class schedule for my new calling. The first class I have to take is Inscription, which is write down 3 titles of books on separate sheets of paper and then pick one at random. Instead of doing that, I feel like that narrows it down too much. We gotta make it a little more spicy. So I got all of the books on my physical TBR, and the green ones are ones that I added in from this year in addition to a bunch of ebooks and audiobooks that are in here. So this doesn't include things from the library. This is only things I own. So we're gonna pick from here. Instead of just 3 options, we have at least 100. Off the bat, I'm gonna tell you right now, I am not going to do this the way that other people do this, where they choose it and they're like, oh, I have to read this book, and then they put themselves in a slump. That is not me. I'm not here to suffer on camera. I do that when I read cringe romance online. Go look at that playlist if you want to see me suffer. But this, we're here to have a good time and spark joy. So I got all of them in here. I'm going to pull out 3 slips. I'll show it to you so you know I'm not cheating. Even though, again, it's not that serious. Okay. So here's number 1. Hold on, I have to beauty guru this. Okay, can you see it? All right, so that's 1. Okay, this is number 2. Don't tell me what it is yet. Oh. Pick just 1. Okay. Oh no. I looked at it, I shouldn't have. Okay. And then we're gonna choose from these 3. So let's see. We have, I saw this one, which was Love, Comment, Subscribe, which I got for free on my Kindle. I think that's an audiobook, but I'm not a big fan of contemporary romance. And then we have Stormglass by Jeff Wheeler. That's compelling. I don't know if I have an audiobook, I'll check. Oh, and then we have an Audible original, so definitely have the audiobook. This is The Golden Orchard by Flora On. I probably will pick that one because I have been itching to pick it up. It's been on a few of my like subconscious TBRs in my head that I've wanted to pick up for a while. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna do The Golden Orchard. I'm gonna put these other 2 back in the jar. We only picked white ones, that's so annoying. So obviously I do not own the physical book for The Golden Orchard. This is an Audible original. It doesn't actually come in a physical book as far as I know. And this is how I have it, is in my Audible account. So that will be our first book for the TBR. The next thing we have to do is Conjuration, which is a color wheel chooses the color of the cover of the book I get to read. So I get to pick which book. I just have to use a color wheel to randomly choose what color the book will be. I want to show you I'm not cheating. So how do I, okay, so I tap here to spin. Oh, it even has a little sound. Peach? Peach? Okay, let me go figure out what book I have that's peach. I think this is going to count as peach in my book. The background is like a peachy orange behind the letters. This book is a majoritively like an off-white, orangey white. I don't know how to explain it. It's peachy to me. It looks like the inside of a peach, and this didn't show a color, and color is subjective. So I'm gonna go with this because it's giving peachy vibes. You know, I'm getting sunset, that's peachy. I am almost halfway through this already, but I just never got to it. I didn't get to finish it this year, even though I'm doing a video series on this. I just kind of fell off because my audiobook got returned to the library and I never picked it back up. So I'm excited to get back to this. This will be fun. I'm glad we picked middle grade. We have 2 middle grades so far, but it sparks joy. I missed out on middle grade March. So this is perfect, honestly. The next class we have is Lore, which is Reread the Legend of Daya, but it is an interrupted class where there are going to be quests, like a side quest posted I think it's every week, on the G Drive by G, and it's kind of like a little adventure, choose your own adventure situation to get credit for the class. I don't know if we're gonna have to read a book or not. I really hope not, because it kind of scares me that I can't know ahead of time. I'm a very schedule person. I like to know and expect the right things so I can plan my very busy schedule out appropriately so that I can have fun. So we'll see how that goes. So far we have 2 books. We have a mystery class. Next we have Psionics and Divination, which is make a prediction bingo for the book, which means we get to just choose the book, which I think is super fun. Thank you to G for that one. For that, I am going to be choosing part 2 of the dramatization audiobooks of Elantris. There are 3 parts to the audiobook dramatization for this book. I will be counting each individual part as a separate book because they are over 8 hours long each. And this is a pretty chunky book anyways. I'm not counting this book, to be clear, just the individual parts. So yeah, I am a third of the way right now. As you can see, I have a little flower in here. I am doing a video series where I read the Cosmere. It's a huge series and I've dove into the deep end of Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere. I read part 1, that video is out now, check it out, I'll link it. It was so much fun. Part 1 was such a joy. I cannot wait to read part 2. So this will be a lot of fun, and because I've already read part 1, I think I have a little bit of an advantage for this bingo card situation. We will make the bingo card together in preparation for Orilium, probably in the next video. Next we have a recommendation based on your zodiac sign. So G specifically said go through websites and look for book recommendations for your zodiac sign. I'm a Leo because I was born in August, queen, and that means I looked all night one night a few days ago through every single list of book recommendations for Leos, and I have to be completely honest, not a single one was interesting to me, or I had already read it. So I was having a really hard time with that one. I couldn't find a book that wasn't nonfiction, that wasn't money related, or that wasn't romance. And those are like things that I think are fine, but I don't have any of them on my TBR, and I'm reading my TBR this year in the last few years, so I needed to find something that was on my TBR. And then I had a thought. For some reason, my husband married this bog witch, and that means, according to the law, legally, we are the same person. So I looked up his zodiac sign. He's a Scorpio. And so I looked through Scorpios, and the first website I found, found a book that was on my physical TBR that I was so unbelievably excited about. It was on a previous TBR of mine this year, so perfect, worked out. So I'm doing my husband's zodiac sign because I can do what I want and we're married, so we're the same person. I will link the website that I ended up finding a book recommendation on. I actually found that the navigation of like your zodiac sign and book recommendation to be pretty good, so if you're interested and you're doing this readathon as well, this website, not bad. Give it a shot. But I also linked it so you can see there's proof this is in the Scorpio section. This book is Iron Widow, and I am so excited about this. I love the author on Instagram. She's everything, you know? She's funny, she's a feminist, and I've heard that there's a true love triangle in here, and we love some bisexual representation. Very excited for this. It looks absolutely badass, and I cannot wait to read this. This was also the only book on any of the lists I saw that I was interested in. I have to admit though, this is giving Scorpio energy. Next we have Restoration, which is a book that you think will cure a reading slump for yourself. And I chose The Coming of Hool for this. It is the next Guardians of Gaoul book. I am reading that really big children's series about owls. It's super cozy. And the reason that I put this book for Will Cure a Reading Slump is because every single time I'm in a reading slump, I just read one of these. And every single time I read one of these, I am immediately less mentally ill. That's a joke. That's a joke. I'm still mentally ill, but it makes me happy. And it makes me feel cozy, and it feels like a hug to my inner child. I love these owls way too much, and I always cry reading these books, even if they're not that emotional. So that's what we're gonna do. The Coming of Hool. I don't know what book it is. I don't know what number at this point. I'm just reading them all, but I'm very excited to get to this one, and I think the season is appropriate for it as well. And another middle grade on the list. So we have 1 adult book, 1 YA book, and 3 middle grades so far. Next we have Demonology, read a book that you did not pay for. So I have a few here that were birthday gifts from last August, and then I have one that I won in a giveaway, and I have 3 books here. I'm not sure which one I'm going to choose. I will let you know in the vlogs when Orilium is happening. I wanted to leave one of these open so that I could maybe pick something that I was more in the mood for, just in case I get close to a slump. So I have 3 options here. They're all quite different, but 2 are middle grade. I don't know if you're seeing, but there's a trend here. We have Vows of Empire, which I got as a birthday gift. I'm so excited for this book. It's the 3rd book in the trilogy, the Bloodright trilogy. For the last 2 years, I read the 2 previous books at this time of year, and they always emotionally destroy me, but they also get me really They also help me a little bit with the summer depresso. I have a really hard time in the summer. I have like reverse seasonal depression. I don't like heat and I don't like wind. And where I live in the desert, we get into the 110s out here, and the wind gets into like the 70-mile-per-hour gusts, sometimes regularly at 50 miles per hour without gusts, constant 50, and that gives me the not good brain feelings. So I need something in the summer to keep me going, and that's probably why I read the most in the summer, is because I'm trying to battle my own brain, and these books bring me a lot of joy. So this is a maybe though, because it is adult sci-fi. I may not be in the mood and I may not be able to find the audiobook. Another one we have here is The Golden Frog Games Witchlings by Claribel A. Ortega. This is the 2nd book in the Witchlings series. I loved the first one so much. Again, I read it around this time of year, and it made me get the warm fuzzies, you know? It gave me really good feelings. And because of that, I think I want to read this one. I think this is the one I'm gonna end up choosing, but I already have so much middle grade here, I wanted to add an adult in just in case. I am super excited about this though. This has all the vibes. It's a perfect summer read. And then we have The Curse of the Invisible Quill, The Pennymoors by Eric Koester. This I won in a Goodreads giveaway. It is very heavy and it is very long, but there are little illustrations. This is also little witchy middle grade. Again, you're seeing a theme here, but I don't know that I'll be able to find the audiobook for this, which is why I am not going to commit to any of these books, because I'm just not sure. I am very excited though. I am very excited. Also, if I DNF something, I don't usually just immediately count it towards the readathon. I will only do that if I've gotten to the end of Readathon and I can't find anything else to fulfill the prompt except for the DNF. I will usually try to pick up another book to fulfill the prompt. I don't just give up. I will be setting up my bullet journal for the next coming semester in spring, so make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of my Orilium videos. I've already cut out my little printables for this quarter, my new calling, the syllabus, and the little side quest for lore. I'll give you a little sneak peek. This page is like particularly a favorite of mine. And this was last year's cover page. I will have to make a 2024 cover page and set up a new calling page. And then I will have to set up the spring spread as well. And it's going to look quite different from last year's because I have more books to fit on the page. And I feel like Godseer has a little bit different of an aesthetic. That is my reading plans for the Orilium Spring Equinox 2024. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments if you are participating in the readathon, what you plan to read, what your calling is, what your character's name is. Tell me everything. Just info dump. That would make me so happy. But also, if you're not participating, comment down below the next book that you're gonna read or the book you're currently reading, or just tell me about your reading life, okay? I wanna get to know all of you. If you would like to get to know me better and you would like to let me get to know you better, we also have a writing Discord Discord server. It is free. It is an open community. You have to be 18 years or older to join, but otherwise it is completely free. I chat with all of my people there. We have writing sprints every Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 10 Pacific time. That's where we hang out. We do polls. We talk about writing. We talk about storytelling. We talk about books. We talk to each other about random things. It's been such a joy getting to know some of my followers and getting kind of close with them. It's been a joy. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and stay kind, siblings, and I'll see you at Orilium.